So if we haven't met, my name is Ben. I'm one of the pastors here at Gloria Day. We're in this series which we entitled His, and this is a fun series to preach because really, every week we're going to be going through some different topics of things that would be really easy, really tempting to want to say we're in control of, that this is ours, and don't tell me what to do with this, it's mine, right? And instead, what we're going to do each week is look at these different things and say, actually, they're His. His meaning God, that they were given to us as a gift for us to take care of and to look after. And as we do, they're for our good, but ultimately they belong to Him. And so today we're talking about the environment. Now, as I was getting ready for this weekend, and I was reading some stuff in some books and some articles and different things out there, one of the things that caught my eye, and in fact, I was shocked, was how many authors started their writing on this topic or started their speech or whatever it was on this topic with kind of along these lines, here's why you should be concerned. Here's why. I was like, why do you have to say that? I mean, these are primarily they were Christian speakers or authors with a Christian worldview, primarily speaking to Christians, and they have to start their writing with, you should be concerned, and here's why. Does that mean there's actually Christians out there who before they talk, it's like, well, tell me why this is important? When they're speaking to the care and the stewardship of the environment. But then I started kind of going deeper into this, and I realized this is a highly debated topic. Have you ever had that where you kind of stumble into a topic, you're like, whoa, I didn't know there were so many different views. This is one of them. It's very different. Now I'm going to throw out to you some of the main buckets where a lot of these different earth views is what I'll call it, kind of fall into. I guarantee it, there's no one out there being like, I stand on the utilitarian view of no, right? But they're drawing from some of these different views. So we need to do this to maybe take a little bit of a look on ourselves or people in our family or just kind of the world, just so we can, right? Knowledge is power. So let's look at this. Some different world views, earth views. The first one is the utilitarian view. This one really says that the earth and everything in the earth, it belongs to humanity. And it can be used by humanity however humanity sees fit. If it benefits humanity, go for it. Okay? This is the utilitarian perspective of the earth and of the environment. If you abuse it, is it beneficial? Right? I mean, I need a new iPhone. Who cares how you get the silicon chip, right? Oh, too close to home. Okay, so trust me, we're not going to go down the road. If some of you, we'll get there. Hold on. All right. Second view is the Gnostic view. The Gnostic view is the view that the material, the physical world, is much less important than the spiritual world. The Gnostic view would be, so what if the entire west side of our nation's on fire right now? You should be more concerned about the spiritual, not the physical. Right? That's a Gnostic view. Third one is the political view, a politicized view. You see a lot of people falling into this camp, and that's, the care of the environment and really that view. And that's for people, that are environmentalists or they're part of a certain political party. We put colors in front of the names of those people, and we have plans for that. But that's a political party that care about that, which has always shocked me because it's like you're telling me that all the other political parties then don't care? Or maybe they don't care about it that way? Or whatever it might be. It doesn't matter, but a lot of people think that way. That they worry that if they go too far into the whole environmental thing, it's going to be it's too politicized for them. And that's a big area. Now, if Gnosticism says you should value the spiritual over and above the material, then number 4 is like the opposite of that, where the spiritual is actually in the material. I call this the Pocahontas view. Remember the scene where she touches everything because it has a soul and a spirit and it comes alive, right? This is animism. This is the belief held by many, many people around the world that the material world has souls, that you honor those things by taking care of them. Disney loves this one. Loves it. Cinderella's superpower, she can talk to animals. Tell me that's not going to influence my 4-year-old, right? We have mouse traps in our house, right? I'm serious. You need to be careful. I mean, as parents, we got to have a very good, thick filter on what it's actually training our kids to think and how it's training our kids to think. And I know that, and nostalgia, and this all came to, once we got Disney Plus, man, it's like we've been binge watching every Disney one. And some of those I'm watching, and I'm like, good night. No wonder me and my brothers are kind of messed up. Like, that, you're like, but it's Disney. Yeah. Right? Animism is their go-to. Animals talking, animals having souls, the planet, the earth. I mean, you name it. Watch Moana. Right? Almost every Disney movie has some form of animism going on. Right? And then number 5 is crisis care. Crisis care is I care about it when there's an ecological problem. Like now I care about the forest fires or air pollution or whatever it might be. But if I can't see it, I don't care about it. You know, if we haven't seen the pollution in the ocean caused by plastics and the fillers and the fact that we buy everything online. Like we don't see the ecological ramifications of that. And so if it's kind of out of sight, it's out of mind, we don't worry about it until it's a problem. And then we'll worry about it. Right? That's kind of that view. It's a crisis. Now, needless to say, there are so many different opinions, and I'm not here to tell you this one, right? What we're going to look at is what does it mean to be a follower of Jesus Christ, a believer in Yahweh, and to faithfully approach this topic as one who wants to faithfully honor God, who is the creator of the environment. Genesis 1, beautiful account, you've read it many times, that everything found its workings in the imagination and the power of God. He's the one that spun it into being, right? From the tallest mountain to the smallest little dandelion flower, right? Some of you are like, that's a weed. Well, you just label it wrong, right? My daughter thinks they're flowers. From everything you see in creation came from the imagination of God, including you and every child, everyone found in the imagination of God. And then God, as the pinnacle jewel of His creation, created a man and a woman, placing them in the garden and saying, here's what I want you to do. I want you to work this creation and keep it. Work it and keep it. Now let's have a quick talk on these two words of work and keep. To work creation means to cultivate it for your benefit. I like this quote I read from an author that was talking about this idea of work. And he said this, he said, God intended human beings to be His junior partners in the work of bringing His creation to fulfillment. It's not in our nature as human beings to be satisfied with things as they are, or to receive provision for our needs without working. It's not in our nature to endure idleness for long, or to toil in a system of uncreative regimentation, or to work in social isolation. To recap, we are created as sub-creators in relationship with other people and with God, depending on God's provision to make our work fruitful and respecting the limits given in His Word and evident in creation. All right? This is a good little synopsis of just what the author's saying, that as humanity, we were made to work in a certain kind of way. We were meant to work in community. Right now, as so many people are isolated, or you have that background noise in your head of, oh, should I be around people right now? Don't be, it'll happen that the hunger for community is going to grow, because we were made by God to come together. We come together around food. We come together around music. We come together around sports. We come together around traditions and holidays and festivals. We come together around worship. It's who we are as a people. We come around and we gather around what matters. It's what we do. We were made that way. We were also made to work together, to cultivate, to work at, to build up and make maybe even better. Not better as in the sense that God made it lesser, but to work the creation for our benefit so that it suits everybody. If you work creation for your benefit, but in the process you are pushing someone else down, you're working creation wrong. If the way you work creation causes another human being suffering pain and it's on their backs, then you're working creation wrong, is what the word work means. It means it works for all, for the benefit of those working. The second word is to keep it. And the keeping is the care for and the protection of that thing, to look out for God's creation. Now, as I was thinking about this, I said, this protection thing, it made me think about a few months ago, my daughter, she's now 4.5. At the time, I don't know, she was maybe 4, 3, I don't know, somewhere in there. But anyway, she made me this bracelet. And she made this thing, and she was so proud of it. It took her a long time. She put each bead on by itself. Do you guys have something at home that was made for you by a kid that means a lot to you? It could be up on the fridge or some grandkid or your kid or something. You guys know what I'm talking about as parents. Well, my daughter made this for me and really proud of it, and I put it on. I accidentally wore it in a sermon like I'm doing right now, so now she thinks it should always be on me when I preach, and so that was my bad. But we had this bracelet. Now, one day I had this bracelet, and I was wearing it one day to work because she asked me to, and I spoil her. And I put it on my vanity at the end of the day, and somehow it got knocked off the vanity, and it fell on the ground. And I didn't see it. And the next morning, my daughter came in to the bathroom, and she looked, and she went, "Oh!" I was like, "What? Your bracelet's on the ground, Daddy." I was like, "Oh, yeah, my bad." I picked it up. And she goes, "No," and she grabbed it, and she had it in her hand, and she goes, "This is very special. You don't put special things on the floor. Do you understand?" "Yes, I do." Touché. And I said, "I will be very careful with it. I will protect it because it's very special," right? Why is it special? Why is this special? Because of the growing demand and price of yarn, string, and beads? Why is it special? Because there's a line of people outside my house right now for my daughter's custom-made bracelets? Why is the bracelet special? It's only special because of the relationship of the creator to the recipient of the creation. It's only special because it's a reflection of the relationship of my daughter to myself. You have things in your home right now that to the average person that came in your home and they looked at it, it would probably not be special to them. But when you look at it, you see through that thing that's on the wall or on your desk or on the mantle or wherever it might be. You see through that thing, and what you see through it is the face of the relationship that it is reflecting. If you lost a wedding ring, it's just a ring. Is it just a ring? No, because when you see into the ring, you see the commitment and the years and the sacrifice. You see through it, right? When I look at this, and if this was on the floor out in the gathering center, most of you probably would have walked right over the top of it and right into worship. because it holds no value to you. Because the value of it is through the relationship. Now, this is how God designed His creation to be meant for us. That the relationship between the creation, the environment, and us is that we are meant to protect it and to care for it and to overlook it. Why? Because you don't abuse special things. And the environment's a special thing that God made for humanity, and He put humanity in it, and He said, keep it and care for it and look after it. That's how He designed it, so that when you see the sunrise and you see the stars and you see the oceans and you see flowers and grass and cornfields and whatever it is, that you can see through those things to the God who gave it to you. When we fail to see it as God's creation, we end up abusing it, or greed takes over, or selfishness takes over, and we think that, oh, maybe it's just for us, or who cares as long as I can have my fruit at my buffet whenever I want. Who cares where it comes from or who picks it? Or I just want clothes that are on sale. Who cares who makes them or in what factory, right? But it changes your thinking when you go, how I care for the environment should really be a preview, a practice run of what it will be like in the new creation. And how you care for the environment should really reflect, too, what the next generation means to you, what earth these kids will have, and the value you put on humanity that's made in the image of God. Because if it serves us, but it's not serving others, but holding others down, then we're not using it right. Now, here's the deal, though. As I was thinking of this, I go, it's too varied, man. It's too varied on what this does in your life. The question is this: as Christians, how is God moving in you to care for and uphold His creation and His environment? And as you listen to Him and you do those things as a family or on your own, just know that it makes the Creator smile when we take the creation He's given to us and we say, you know what, this is special. You don't abuse special things. You don't put them on the floor, they might get stepped on. No, you hold them up, you care for them, and you keep them safe. May we treat God's environment with respect, and may we do our part to care for it, work it, and we do it together. Amen?